Shabbat Shalom. We are now in the sixth portion now of the this book of Devarim, Deuteronomy, and KiTeitzei. And this is basically when you go out. And this is a portion that has more injunctions, or they call it mitzvot, or laws, statutes, whatever. There are many ways to express it than any other portion in your parasha. This is 74 injunctions, 74. From the 74, according to our sages, 28 are positive and 46 are negative. And it's a conglomerate of injunctions. And looks like that there is no beginning, there is no end, and it's a little bit a mix of everything, a little bit of everything. And sometimes I say there is no a real pattern or way what the Torah is talking here. It's talking here, a little bit there, about this and about that. I'm going to tell you something that has, to me, has been part of my relearning and being located in the right place. All of this has to do, listen carefully, to the Ten Commandments application. This is a Ten Commandments application. And could be we started those applications from the beginning of the book of Devarim. After in chapter 5, when they give you the Ten Commandments and they tell you, they start giving you applications. And the applications are all these sayings that we have here. You can relate it with the Ten Commandments. In other words, the Ten Commandments are the basis for the understanding of the whole Torah. When you cut the Ten Commandments or you put the Ten Commandments with the rest, you miss the essence of the great revelation of our Creator. You know, we have a tendency to make everything more difficult. We have a tendency that we are a specialist. We become stuck up in how much we know and how much knowledge we have. And through the time becomes this is only for the experts. This is only for learning for experts. And the experts are going to tell you what to believe, because they take scriptures sometimes out of context when you read about the judges and those who are going to make justice for you. And you know, and you extend it to a level higher than the really means to it. We are in a society, or we are dominated by the experts. You know, and the experts are the only ones that they have the right to talk. And somebody who comes and says something that is not from the experts, it's almost literally put down. And they talk bad about these people. And you question these experts, they ask you, what are your credentials? And it is time that we ourselves will look for our own freedom from people that they want to tell us what to believe and how to think. I have been trying to do that through many years. And when I teach the Torah, what I want to teach in the Torah is not only about what supposedly happened historically, that you can read it in many books and in many areas and many contexts, but the most important thing is how do you apply Torah in your life today? How the Torah is what we call it genuine and right for you today. How can you live the Torah? You know, there is a term in our groups and in Judaism we use, Shomer Torah. That means that I keep the Torah. And the question that I always ask myself is, what do you keep? And you know, there is a religion called Christianity that tells you that it is impossible for any person to keep the Torah. You know? Then you can think in this way. Then God tricked us. He played a dirty job on us. You know, he gave us something, and to us it's impossible to keep it. And then he demands that because we didn't keep it, we are going to be punished. But they are theological ideas. They are given in that way. And we have accepted or believe it, wherever it comes from, because it comes from the authority. They know better than you know. But I want to tell you something. To know God is not about how many books you have read. And that is the problem that many of us we have. Because to know God is not how many rabbis have you read, how much of the Talmud you have memorized, the Shear, the Oral Torah, or how much if you go to other religions, in your own religion, like for example Christianity, how much you know about your New Testament, how you have absorbed and memorized, or you have another religion like Islam, how much you know about your Quran. Or about the Buddhist religion or the Hindu religion, other religion that has their own writing. How much do you know that? How much you have memorized? But one area that we have forgotten, and Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to us, is about, remember who delivered you from Egypt. And remember he came and he revealed to you. And he is telling you that you must develop a relationship with him. You must know me. You're there. And you know what is very interesting? The term to know in the scriptures is about intimate relationship. It's the closeness. When Adam and Eve became one, Adam knew Eve. And Eve, of course, knew Adam. This is the most interesting relationship. It's total relationship. And what the Creator is requesting from us is to have an intimate relationship with him, in the sense of that we give ourselves to him because he gives to us completely. But we are looking for formulas. Everybody say, do this and do that. You need to give 3 steps here on the right and 3 steps here on the left. We think it because we follow certain method, we are going to be closer to the Creator. And we forget that it's not the form, but it's the substance. And here, Moshe Rabbeinu, with these 74 injunctions in this parasha, start with something that is very interesting. Start with the war and with the captive, beautiful woman. You know, only not to go too far away. If you had been listening the news, not long ago in the Middle East, there was a group of fanatics, a group ISIS. They started conquering and to make a caliphate to all those areas. And you know what they did? The first that they did was not only they conquer, but they violate, they rape all the women that they could. The Yazidis, the Christians, and other groups that were not part of them, they were easy prey. And look at what the Torah teaches you. The Torah is teaching you about the commandments about respect, honor, and be careful with the people that are less stronger or they're weaker. You know, and here, what is interesting, even there are many things against the Torah by the feminist core, because they do not understand the tenor of the scriptures. Here, look at the Creator is teaching that in war, not everything is okay. And you even in war, you need to respect the dignity of the other human being. And what more about a young woman? Many of our sages, when they interpreted this portion, sometimes they go to the minutiae to try to understand little things. Like the woman needs to be 1 month in the house. You know, she needs to shave her head, and she needs to change clothes. She needs to cut her fingernails and all those things. And I always say, when you study the scriptures, be sure that you study the scriptures in the context of the time and the historical background of the time and the values and what it means. Many of the sages, they say that the reason that they ask her to shave their head and to change clothes because that woman impressed the soldier by her beauty. You know, and he was impregnated by the beauty. He wanted to take that beauty, but they say, do not fall to the Yetzer Ra, to the evil inclination. Wait, hold yourself, respect this person. Well, and then, when she got, you know, and she gave it to her time, at least a month, to mourn the death of her family, parents, mothers, and to be isolated from them. And finally, you can make her your wife. Very important little thing that I would like to tell you about this simple statement, that how much and how rich is the Torah if you really look in it. First of all, it's about the respect to the women. The women need to be respected and they need to be protected. That's very important. The Torah is teaching you that. And it's teaching with a girl that it is the most, but what do you say, without no defenses, you know, more vulnerable. Secondly, it's about allow her to go through the process of taking the loss that she has gone through. Losing her place, her family, her home, her everything. You know, if we do not understand the cult of those times, of those Canaanite tribes, and how they mourn, sometimes it's very difficult to understand it. And the Creator is so magnanimous that allowed this young lady to go to the process that she was accustomed to go, only to go there and to carry and to separate. For them, mourning was that some of them, they will cut themselves, some of them, you know, they shave their hair and they cut their fingernails. That was the same for the girl. That was an aspect of mourning. You know, today, we among us, Jewish people, when we have lost somebody very close to us, very like a father, a mother, or a spouse, or a child, when we go to the funeral, what did they do? We cut a little piece of our garment or our ties. to show our pain. And we are being hurt. Then there are little things that have passed through the times. But I want to know for the men to see how ugly was the woman, as many say, and not to desire her anymore in that way he will never marry her. And I'm going to give you another interpretation that to me was very bad, but I was interpreting. They say that immediately after that, after the captive woman, comes the portion that is the rebellious son, no? Before they come the rights of the firstborn of the like a woman or the first wife and no the second wife, and this is the right of the firstborn, the Bechor. But after that comes the rebellious child. And they say, you know what the rabbi say? Why it comes after this? Some of the rabbi know. They say, it's because they marry a Gentile. And when you marry a Gentile, your children are going to be rebellious. Well, we have all things to trying to be to put in the minds of our people certain ideas instead of ourselves to find what it really means. Then the secret of this portion, to me, is to look at the Ten Commandments and how each of these injunctions relate to the Ten Commandments, because it's an application of the Torah. Many times there has come to me people that say, Rabbi, what do you think about this? What do you think I can do? And I always, my answer is, what the scriptures say about it? Well, now it doesn't say anything directly about that. And I say, listen carefully. Look at the Ten Commandments and see how they apply to your needs, or to how do you see, is anything in the Ten Commandments that's telling you, be careful, don't do it, or check it. And you're going to be surprised how much you can get. Still today, we have that opportunity. For example, somebody say, what's wrong, with certain things in the moment? Because, for example, at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, we didn't have TV. At the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, we didn't have cellular phones. We didn't have all these applications that we have today. And the question is, how those things can affect me or no? They're good or they're bad? Well, look at the Ten Commandments. What takes you away from the Creator? What makes you to build a wall against the Creator? What makes you build a wall against to have a knowing relationship with the Creator? And you're going to see that you can say, this is good or this is bad. This is good for me or this is not good for me. This is good for my family or it's not good for my family. Today, we are in a crisis all over the world. And the worst part is we are in educational crisis. Because most of us now, we depend on the government for the education of our children. And what the government values are giving. Do you know in the United States, they took the scripture out of the school. They blocked the 10 Commandments. In Canada, it's the same, even sometimes worse. But I am progressive. I am very liberal. I am pro-people, pro-humanity. Totally the contrary. You are against people, you are against humanity because you are against the Creator. How many parents has ever seen what their children are learning in school? How many parents have said to their children, this what you are learning is not right? Oh no, that's the government. Today, the system that we have is not the Torah who is teaching us. It's the humanism, the religion of the world today, that goes completely against the Creator. Where man is imposed over the Creator. And men have created their own gods. The first 3 principles or 3 commandments, the 10 Commandments. And we don't see it. We have been blinded. You know, I have heard people, when we talk about certain moral issues, that I have been insulted and have been told that I am a very narrow-minded. Not only narrow-minded, but I am a bigot. At the beginning, to be honest, I never understood very well the word bigot. You know? And I say, what a bigot? Maybe I have bigotes. In Spanish, bigotes is mustache. You know? Yeah, I am a bigot, no? Have my mustache. But you know, they later, little by little, start understanding what they say. And they say to you with such a pride and with such authority. And you are pitiful. You need to be ashamed of yourself. And the Torah teaches, don't do those things. How do you interpret it? What do you believe? What do you believe? The moral rights that the Torah teach you, or the moral rights that humanity teach you? You see, you have heard me saying to you over and over again, because we need to understand these injunctions. God is teaching you about to be honest with each other, to be compassionate with the one that has less, not to take sides, you know, and not to be greedy. All those things they teach you in this portion, even more. The love for the animals, for example, about the nest that you see a bird with the chicks and then you see, or the eggs, they say, please first let the mother let it go and then you take it. You ask yourself, what is he teaching you? You know, one day I was in a countryside and I saw 2 young men, or young, they were not men yet, they were teenagers, you know, and they were with BB guns. And they were shooting every bird that they saw. Okay? And not only that, but yeah! And they throw it down. They shoot it and they throw it down. What the Creator, many people say, because God has also rahamim, mercy, for also the other creation, creation for the animals to take it. And that's a good teaching, no? But to me, the greatest teaching is not about the great mercy that he has for animals. It's the great mercy that he has for us. Because if you, at that early age, you learn to kill for no reason, you are going to be a criminal when you're an adult. Because you have lost all understanding about the sacredness of life. And life is sacred. Even when you take the life of an animal for eating, you need to be grateful to the Creator and to the animal. God teaches us that. I saw not long ago a child getting a little frog and a light making parts, having a fun. I wonder how that child is going to grow up. And this is why the Creator is giving to us, the parents, instructions for our children. And what is so important, that our children grow under the values of the Torah, not the values of this world. There's much more than I can tell you, but I'm here, and let me repeat again. Everything that you need to think about what you can do, please look it through the eyes of the Ten Commandments. Apply the 3 commandments in your life. And you're going to see that you're going to find many things, what are right to do and what they are not right to do. We are a small community, and we don't have much influence to anybody. But we challenge people to think for themselves. We don't give you a religion. We give you a relationship with the Creator. We teach you to know the Creator in a personal way, to walk with Him, to be with Him. And you know, and people say, but I cannot see Him, I cannot touch Him, I cannot, you know, let me tell you. Each one of us has a breath of life that is part of the Creator. You know? Then when you say, love your neighbor as yourself. And this is how you can have a relationship with the Creator. Then, in your relationship with others, is the projection of your relationship with the Creator. Today, we have seen the opposite. Like I have repeated you many times this statement. We are actors. In the Greek language, that were called hypocrisy. We play a role for everybody to see. But we are never real who we really are. And that's the problem. Because we have been teaching today and all the time that it's more important the form than the substance. It's more important the costume that you wear than what is inside in your heart. It is more important that people think good about you and be popular with them than to have a good relationship with the Creator. And that's what I say to you in these 4 principles that I have been sharing with you. Emunah, faith in the Creator. Bitachon, making that faith work in you. Make it work. Not only I believe, but I act upon what you believe. Third, understand what the Creator has made us as human beings, greater than anything that He has created. The all of His creation, we are the top. We human beings. And He gave us Bechira Hofshi, free will. And that free will is for us as individuals, to be responsible for our own acts. Not our neighbor, not somebody else, but I am responsible for my own acts. There are other religions that tell you, don't worry, you can do whatever you want to do, but if you do this, you're going to be easy way out. Somebody else is going to pay for your sins. No, the Creator knows you because He made you responsible, because He gave you the greatest gift that any human being can have, is free will. You are responsible for that. And the law that covers everything and how we are judged by Him, especially in this time of the year, that we are in the month of Elul, getting close to Tishrei, to the high holidays. It's about Kavanah. And this Kavanah is the intention with which we act. Because the Creator can read our intentions. You can be a facade, you can be an actor, you can be a hypocrite. And people can believe you who you are. I always say, being a politician or being a religious person, usually you classify in that group. We promise and we say everything that everybody wants to hear. But the question is, do we do it? Do we live it? And this is the great test. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu was intended to tell the second generation, the generation that was going to take the land of Israel and was going to form Medina Israel, the government of Israel, was telling them, once you go to the land, this is the area that you need to do, and this is how you need to treat each other, and even your own enemies. I hope that we understand all together that it is not easy sometimes to walk the walk with the Creator, because there are so many things around us that can take us in the wrong direction. But He is always the God of the beginning again. He always is extending His arms and asking us to come back, especially this time of the year, to bring us back to do Teshuvah. Shabbat Shalom.